So the very first episode, the Doctor has disappeared because he has a dial. I don't remember exactly what they call it, but it is something to say that the Doctor's time is soon to be up. And, he eventually ends up meeting an old foe. And, you know, the guy tricks him. The Doctor's compassion just is too much at times. I thought it was pretty stupid. But he believed this guy was genuinely turning good. But, you know, he did. It's a two-parter. Um, Missy and Clara have to work together. She betrays her quite a few times. No surprise there either. And she ends up trying to get the Doctor to kill Clara because Clara was convinced by Missy to get in a Dalek. And that was another betrayal because she tries to tell the Doctor that this Dalek is the Doctor, the one that the Doctor was really mad at because the Doctor thinks Clara is dead. And Missy convinces the Doctor that this is the Dalek that killed Clara, though in reality, um, Clara's inside this Dalek. And the Doctor doesn't fall for this one and is able to get her out only because the Dalek says something that it is not in its database of words. It says mercy, which I don't know how that works because during the 11th Doctor's era, River made a Dalek say mercy. So you would think it would be in its database. I guess they just forgot about that. Under the Lake is the third episode of this season, and it is by far one of my favorites. The Doctor is put in a situation with Ghost. Um, he doesn't really believe that they could be Ghost, but he turns out to be wrong. And this episode is just a lot of fun. Um, I think this is one that you'll actually have to watch yourself because it's very confusing to talk about. But it is a lot of fun. We also get another 11th Doctor return we get one of the creatures that had appeared in one of my favorite 11th Doctor episodes. He's an alien race that will always surrender to other alien race. They love to be conquered. In the episode The Girl Who Died, it is another two-parter. Um, which is crazy because so far all the episodes have been two-parters. The Lake episode I just talked about was a two-parter. The Missy episode was a two-parter. And now we have another two-parter. So the Doctor and Clara accidentally travel to a Viking area and they're kidnapped by Vikings. The Doctor tries to claim he is Zeus, so they can't kill him, only for Zeus himself to appear in the sky and to tell them to surrender. Of course, it turns out to be a trick, and that guy is not actually Zeus. Later, they create a plan to stop Zeus because the only Vikings that were left that didn't get killed weren't exactly fighters. Hell, one of them faints at the sight of blood. Um, so they come up with this plan, and unfortunately, during that plan, one of the Vikings dies. Um, so the Doctor brings her back to life, but accidentally makes her immortal. So he decides to give her another one because he thinks that one day she'll meet someone that she can't just bear to lose. And um, he wants her to be able to have an immortal friend. And that is the end of the first part. In part two, he meets her years later, completely by accident. And she is now a thief. And she ends up working with this creature that betrays her. No surprise there. It's Doctor Who. But, she's able to stop it because the way he's bringing his race to the planet to conquer Earth is via a dead person. So she is able to use the thing the doctor gave her to bring that guy back to life. Um, Kind of an anticlimactic way to end it. Apparently, he may or may not be immortal. The doctor's kind of vague about it. Um, but we never see the guy again, and we see her a few times. So I'm just gonna have to assume they either didn't want to bring him back, or it actually worked. Um, it didn't work the way the doctor thought it would. He died. It's once again another two-parter with the Zygons. Once again wrapping up um, 11th Doctor storyline. Osgood is revealed to still be alive. Um, this two-parter is it's pretty decent. I enjoyed it. Still not had a single part episode. Funnily enough, and we're like 8 episodes in. Um, it's pretty good. The reason the ceasefire has ended is because a few Zygons have decided that they no longer like this ceasefire treaty. They think it's not fair. So, a few of them went rogue against the entire human race when there's only like 10 million of them. We get this amazing speech from the doctor in the second part of the two-parter where he tells them how if anyone knows why war is useless, it's him. Because in the end, they're just gonna do what they always do, talk it out. So it's revealed that the Osgood boxes, they didn't actually have the power that he said they did. It's it's a really good two-parter. On the ninth episode, we have finally got an episode that isn't a two-parter. It's called Sleep No More, and they are in the 30th century, and they have this machine that it helps you sleep no more. People sleep too much. 8 hours a day sleeping takes away a big part of your life. So this guy made a machine that gives you all the sleep you need in like 5 minutes. But the machine goes wrong and makes these creatures. Um, the doctor explains it's like, the eye boogers, you wipe from your eyes have become sentient. You know, the more you use it, the more alive they became. And the doctor that actually made that, not the doctor, but the person who had made it, he is perfectly fine with those creatures taking over the world. So it's pretty obvious that those creatures had consumed him. Um, I mean, we literally see him get consumed at one point, but they try and make you think that like he's still alive and he just made a deal with them. No, he's definitely dead. Then at the end of the episode, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's dead." Though I have no problem with the actor for Clara. By this point, I was just kind of tired of her. She's been around for like 4 seasons. Um, and her character just wasn't for me. She finally gets killed off in this episode by them bringing back a character that appeared in one episode. The actor that was in um, I believe the 8th episode of season 8, who was Cyborg from Titans, he returns. And apparently Clara had gave him the doctor's number off screen. So he's back now because he has suddenly got this tattoo on the back of his neck. But it's counting down. And he has no memory of it. He's accused of murder, and apparently he will die by the time it's done counting down. So to bide time, Clara takes the tattoo from him because she thinks it would be smart. It's something the doctor would do. Because she has the protection of the queen. Or, whatever. Whatever her little name was for the little street they have. But, it doesn't work like that. They broke the deal that she had for the original person that was holding the tattoo. So, of course, she ends up having to die. Which leads us to the next 2 episodes where the doctor is just told to tell them some information, but he won't do it. And he spends like 4 billion years there. It's just insane. So now the doctor has went from 2,000 years old to 4 billion in one episode. It's nuts. Then the next episode, the doctor returns to the Time Lords and brings Clara back to life, which is obviously, the final conclusion due to the fact that, she was the Impossible Girl. The Matt Smith versions of the Doctor would see her, she would die, and he would see her again a few episodes later. So we finally got a reason why that happened. Then we have 2 Christmas specials. One of them is a superhero one where this kid has a cold. He thinks the doctor gives him medicine. He refers to himself as a doctor. He gives him a cup of water and then something else. But he says it's a gemstone. I don't know why the kid would think it was medicine. He does make a fair point, though, about him saying he was a doctor and then giving him a glass of water and something with it, that he would think it's medicine. But, now he has superpowers, and he's a superhero called the Ghost. I don't know why he calls himself the Ghost, but he does. Maybe just because they wanted to make a gay joke later in the episode, because she asked him if he has a boyfriend, and she's like, oh, well, you wear a rubber suit and you have a big G on your chest. We get the return of the creatures from another episode that was before this. I should have talked about it first, but I wanted to talk about this one first, because this one's just a lot of fun. He ends up saving the day, and he gets the girl, and the doctor leaves, and we get Nardole back, which is also in the previous episode. In the previous episode, I should talk about it now. In the previous episode, we get the final episode of River Song. The doctor meets her one last time in his new face. She doesn't even know him. She has pictures of what he looks like and who she might run into, but she doesn't have Peter Capital. She only knows 12 faces, which it equals 12 because of the War Doctor, played by John Hurt. So, of course, doesn't end the way she wants. They have to say goodbye. And this is the last time he'll see River Song. Their timeline has finally been fixed. He's ran into her all the times he's needed to. So they say goodbye, and it's the last time he'll see her, Though he saw her die years ago out of order, as the 10th Doctor, this is the last time he'll actually see her. So, then, in the next episode, we get these people that are trying to take over the Earth in the superhero episode. And they were in that River Song episode. There's these like creatures that can open their head and you can see their brain, and they're trying to take over the human race by taking all their big generals out from every capital and, taking the president and all that stuff so they can just win easily. But of course, the Doctor and the superhero are able to stop him. And, it's the end of the season. Not bad, if I do say so myself. I really like Peter Capital as the Doctor. I know a lot of people didn't like him, though. He also briefly has sonic glasses. I thought they were pretty cool. But he ends up going back to the sonic screwdriver.